As you may have seen, Battlefield just released their trailer for the new game mode and experience Hazard Zone. An all-new, high-stakes, squad-based game mode where you compete against other squads and deadly forces to extract data drives from the Hazard Zone. Today, I want to give you guys a bit of insight as to how the game mode works, as well as my thoughts and opinions, some positives and negatives of the mode, as well as what I'd like to see going forward with Hazard Zone. So starting out gameplay-wise, this mode will be made up of 32 players, being 8 squads on newer gen consoles as well as PC. As for Xbox One and PS4 users, you guys will have 24 players, which is equal to 6 squads. There are 5 stages to every match of Hazard Zone, the first being strategize and equip. In this phase, you'll be given a brief outline of the objective, which I believe includes the map and other supportive details like choosing where you want to start on the map. You then use this information to choose your specialist and spend your dark market credits on building your loadout and buying tactical upgrades. Keep in mind you cannot double up on specialists, so your squad must consist of a variety. As for dark market credits, they are earned by successful data drive extractions. The second stage is insert. From what I understand, this is basically just deployment, but it could be some form of pre-game lobby or some way you are dropped into the Hazard Zone to begin your match. This deployment spot is also predetermined by the step beforehand. Stage 3 is retrieval, and this is where you will start the search for the data drives. The intel scanner that is unique to Hazard Zone is the key to finding the approximate location of the crash satellites that contain the data drives. One squad mate will need to make sure that they have this equipped prior to jumping in so that they can relay the locations of the drives to the rest of the squad. Data drives can be scanned no matter the location, no matter who is carrying them, and occupying forces can be found protecting the sites with the drives. How I picture this is kind of like the contaminated zones in the dark zone of the Division, where you have the boss with the minions, except in the Division they just drop higher tier loot rather than protecting something you have to collect. Throughout the mid-game, you also have new satellites drop. These are more valuable as they contain more than one data drive, and will most likely become more contested than the others that are already on the map for that reason. In Stage 4, this is where you need to extract. To be successful in Hazard Zone, extracting is key, and the first window to extract is available a few minutes after the start of the match. This first extraction is randomized, and you and your squad will have a few minutes to get to the condor to get out safely. If you are willing to gamble everything, Stage 5 and the last extraction point open up 10 to 12 minutes into the match. Any remaining squads must fight and battle over this final extraction zone, and if you are left behind, you will lose everything you have gathered throughout the match. You may be successful in this last extraction, even if just one member from your squad gets out, and you and your whole squad will be rewarded for it. So that's pretty much a full rundown of how the mode works out and what you can expect when you play Hazard Zone. In this last segment, I just want to run over some of my thoughts and some of my pros, cons, and hopes for this mode in the future. Starting out with some of the downsides, I can see Hazard Zone getting really repetitive in the short term. The way this can be avoided is by making sure the mode is really diverse and trying to make each game a bit different in how they play. This could be from bringing new maps, or even making sure that there are enough locations for data drives and extractions, so you aren't going to do the same ones all the time. Secondly, this may also split the player base a lot, especially with Portal and multiplayer being other experiences. I can see this taken away from the others if this is really fun and enjoyable. A positive takeaway from this is that hopefully we see a lot of other people from other games coming across to play Battlefield, and hopefully they begin to get amongst some of the other modes as well. This would be extremely good for the Battlefield population as a whole. I'm also unsure how friendly this mode will be to solo players, as it seems to be really heavy on the squad play side, and communication will absolutely be key. I also really hope that this mode doesn't stretch the dev team too much, and they can still fix bugs across all modes if really important things need to be addressed. As for the positives, I think Hazard Zone will be a great change of pace compared to the multiplayer. You'll be able to get the homies and swap game mode if you get bored of one. Plus, all your ranking and progression carries over, so that's a massive bonus. I also think Hazard Zone will be massive for people learning how to use their specialists effectively. This will have way higher stakes in the multiplayer, so people will have to learn and adapt their specialist to multiple situations rather than just running it down in multiplayer. As for what I hope to happen, I really think Hazard Zone could provide a space for some high level squad play that could be even played in a bracketed way for something like Twitch Rivals. It would be insane to see Battlefield in this space, as that community or competitive environment is something they have been lacking for some years now. I also really want to see people able to grind and be rewarded for being good at Hazard Zone, so some customizations or skins for Hazard Zone Mastery would be really cool. Just some ways to show off your achievements within a certain mode, and I think it's really important as we have seen some of the mastery for multiplayer stuff already. That about wraps it up, so I appreciate if you have watched this far. I'm really excited for the release, and I'm super excited to get into making some actual content. Finally, Battlefield isn't dry, and hopefully we get a stable player base for those who really enjoy the game. Take it easy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.